Jerry Lee Lewis. That's who sings Great Balls of Fire. Last week we had trouble figuring that out. I was like, Huey Lee Lewis? No, Huey Lewis is Huey Lewis, and it's Johnny Lewis. Johnny Lee Lewis. No, that's not it. Couldn't think of it. And then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, I was just like, oh yeah, Jerry Lee Lewis. Oh yeah, it's Jerry Lee Lewis who sings Great Balls of Fire. So yeah, that was bugging me like all week, and I finally remembered it.
That's good. I'm glad you were able to remember.
Yes, exactly. Great Balls of Fire. King Ross shout out. Welcome everybody, WWPWW, the Worldwide Wrestling Podcast of Worldwide Wrestling, and we are here to talk about Extreme Rules. We did our predictions last week, and here we are to talk about the fallout from the pay-per-view, and then obviously do our weekly recaps as per usual. But overall, real quick, not getting into the matches, just as a whole overall, what did you think of Extreme Rules?
I thought it was a solid Raw pay-per-view. It's probably one of their best so far. I know some people were down on a match or two of it, but honestly, I didn't hate anything that happened. I enjoyed all of it myself.
Yeah, I feel the same way too. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good, man. Like, I don't know, B plus.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. I enjoyed most of it. There were some things that logically didn't make sense, and there were some things that I didn't like that they went with. But overall, I really, really enjoyed it. And, the main event was like 29 minutes long. It didn't feel that long.
No, it didn't.
The opening match was 20 minutes long. Didn't feel that long.
Nope.
Like, everything was fast-paced, going quick. It was awesome. Like, it was extreme.
Yep.
And it was loads of fun, man. I really, really enjoyed it. So, well, we have no news.
No news today.
This week.
Yep.
So, I guess we will go ahead and jump right into talking about Extreme Rules.
It's extreme. You want to go match my match?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Match by match. I'll let you take the lead on the matches.
All right. We got, first up, I still haven't watched the pre-show, so I apologize.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay.
But everybody says that Kalisto and Apollo Crews was a really good match.
It was. I was surprised. Like, just because both these guys are really good, and I like both of them. They're just not outstanding, particularly. But this match was really, really good. They should be really proud of it. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yep. Then the first match on the main card, we have The Miz versus the Intercontinental Champion, Dean Ambrose. What were your thoughts on this match, Caleb?
I thought all the psychology and storytelling within the match was really, really good. Miz being sneaky and conniving and trying to win without actually winning, and everything Maurice was doing, and it was really well done. The match was great. These two guys know each other really well. They work well together. I really, really liked it a lot. There's just not much to say about it. It was just really good and a good way to start off the show. And, we now have a 7-time Intercontinental Champion in The Miz, so which is fantastic because I love when Miz has the IC title. It's awesome. And, Dean's awesome as IC Champion, Like I said, both these guys are like born for the Intercontinental Champion, which isn't to say neither of them could or should not be WWE Champion,
or Universal Champion,
or Universal Champion, as the case may be. Because they could and they should, and I think that these guys being in a main event program for the Universal Championship or the WWE Championship would be pretty cool. So, But yeah, overall, I thought it was really good, really well done. What about you?
Yeah, it was a great way to start the event, the Extreme Rules event. As some people have posted online, this is kind of the anti-Extreme Rules match.
Yeah.
Because if Dean got disqualified, he was to lose the championship. That doesn't happen in Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules, you're supposed to be no disqualification and all that stuff. So it was kind of the anti-Extreme Rules, which is fine. It in itself is an extreme rule. You know what I mean? Because it's nobody.
Because Dean's usually always playing by extreme rules.
Yes.
So to make this match anti-extreme rules is extreme for him. So.
Yeah. And that we at the end of the match you think that he's going to be called out, like he's going to be disqualified, but for some reason in John Cone's head, Dean gets pinned. So I don't know why he wasn't disqualified, but either which way, the Miz is your Intercontinental Championship. I did want to point out that there was an homage to one of the greatest champions of all time, Mr. Perfect. There was a Perfect Plex done by Dean,
Yeah,
which was pretty
that was
awesome.
awesome.
Pretty awesome homage to
I love the
one of the
fisherman
greats.
suplex. It's
Me
a
too.
great move. And the perfect plex is perfect.
Absolutely. I love because last week I thought, Maurice is going to get involved and she's going to get the disqualification. She got involved, but didn't get the disqualification. I thought that was great and funny. And what they do on Raw is probably one of my favorite things to continue that. I don't know if they're going to break them up, but we'll get to that later. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that match. It was really, really well done. Really good, solid first opening match. So then we get a Bailey interview, which kind of was, mwah.
I didn't watch it. Because it was during a commercial break thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I had skipped it.
Gotcha.
So I didn't even know about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it happened. She's like, they're making fun. The cool thing about this whole segment and what they do on Raw is they're making fun of the "This Is Your Life" segment because everybody hated it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it as much as everybody else did, but everybody hated it, and so they were kind of making fun of it. And she's like, she's no Mankind or The Rock, and she name drops Tommy Dreamer, Sandman, Steve Blackman, and then she name dropped the Wonder Woman movie. So basically, it was just a hodgepodge of this is all the things that are going to help me win this match, which doesn't happen, but we'll get to that when the match happens. All right, Noam Dar and Alicia Fox versus Rich Swann, Sasha Banks. What were your thoughts about this match?
It was okay. That's really all.
Fair enough.
Not much to say about it. It was just okay. Not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but just not, nothing spectacular. All four of them are good. Like King Ross keeps saying, and I will continue to agree with him, that Alicia Fox is bridging Northern Light suplexes like awesome, like it's like ridiculously good.
Mm-hmm.
And Rich Swann, even with the Adam Blampied doing his impression, creepy face, is even creepier.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was hilarious. But it was just okay. There's nothing wrong with it, but there just it just wasn't. It didn't stand out to me.
The one thing I noticed, two things I want to say. First of all, I liked when Alicia and Noam would tag; they would fly into each other's arms a couple times.
Oh yeah.
That was really, really funny. The one thing I noticed is the crowd was super psyched up for this match. Like the crowd was very, very loud.
Mm-hmm.
And I also noticed the ropes weren't purple.
They weren't?
Nope, they were red. They were raw red. They were because with the cruiserweights they get the purple out. I don't know if it was because of both Sasha and Alicia or whatever, but Noam and Rich Swann are cruiserweights. No purple ropes. And what happens? Everybody was into this match. But when you put the purple ropes on one of the best matches of the night, nobody cared about that match. And so I wonder if they were to take off the purple ropes altogether and the purple things all together, and they actually make it a part of Raw, like they're supposed to be, if that would change the psychology of the crowd. Because this match, they were into it. The crowd was really, really into it. But the cruiserweight match, the crowd wasn't into it. That's the thing I noticed.
That's an amazing observation.
Yeah, I noticed. I was like, hey, they have red ropes. Hey, the crowd's really into this match. And then cruiserweight title comes along, and the crowd doesn't care a lick about the match. They're actually booing the match. They're being ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't get it, but anyways.
It was a great match, but we'll get to that anyway.
Yeah, that's really interesting, man. That's a great point. That's very Sherlockian of you. That's really astute. And I wonder if it's because the Cruiserweight Classic was so dope, and then TJP was the first champ, and he was just so boring as the champion. So maybe there's just because of that, they're like, the Cruiserweight Classic was so rad. All right, we're gonna get the Cruiserweights. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's TJ Perkins. Okay. And then just like for the first couple months of the Cruiserweights being on Raw, they hype it up because it's everything's purple now. All the lights are purple. The ring, the ropes, are purple now, and they have the Cruiserweight logo in all the corners of the mat and stuff. So yeah, maybe because of that. Like if they didn't make it seem like a spectacle,
yep.
If they just made it's part of Raw, yes. You're absolutely right. So I think because of the they missed the mark with TJP being the first champion, and because that was kind of boring,
Yep.
people were like, oh, the cruiserweights are kind of a letdown, and so now when they see the purple ropes and stuff like you brought up, maybe that kind of triggers the, oh yeah, this isn't accurate, but yeah, the match was amazing, but
It was, and we'll get to that here in a second. But you're absolutely right. Like 205 Live is a separate show. Keep the purple stuff on there, no problem.
Yeah.
This is Raw. This is a Raw pay-per-view. It's red. Keep it red. Just like NXT is yellow and black and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I'm fine with doing that with 205 Live. Like I said, keep them purple, whatever. But when the cruiserweights are on Raw, they're on Raw, not 205 Live. They're not on in the Cruiserweight Classic anymore. Let's move on from that, which they need to do. They needed to do this time around, and because I think part of it, the reason why the crowd was behind that was because they forgot they were cruiserweights, and one of the ways you can do that is just make sure that it's a Raw, and so
And
there's
also,
that match.
have some main, quote unquote, main roster, even though they are part of the main roster, the cruiserweights are, have, okay, here's a better way of saying it, have heavyweight interference. Maybe have, Neville, get, I don't know, Gallows and Anderson or something like that to, like, be, like, enforcers. To, like, almost like a lumberjack type situation where they're, guarding the ring, they're walking around the ring, like, patrolling it and stuff like that, during the match. So, and if it looks like he's going to lose, they'll get involved with it or something like that. And if somebody's not, and if a cruiserweight isn't in a main event feud, like for the championship, because obviously you have to be 205 and under to qualify for the cruiserweight division. But I mean, Kalisto's a cruiserweight, and he's going up against Apollo Crews, so do more of that, more big guy little guy thing, or like Seth, he's like 220, so he's like a light heavyweight, so see him and Brian Kendrick, that'd be kind of neat,
Well, and they
more mixing of the weight classes, so to speak.
They apparently on, I don't know if it was Raw or I didn't watch it, but I saw it on YouTube where Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil were trying to get Kozawa to become a part of the Titus brand, and so they're kind of doing that, but they're not going full steam into that. So we'll see what happens. I agree with you. I think they're trying to also do that with the women's stuff. They're having Alicia and Sasha in the cruiserweights. I think they're trying to do that. Also, Rich Swann from Baltimore wins in Baltimore. just let you guys know that.
Yeah.
Elias Sanson comes out and he does his little ditty in the ring, basically making fun of Baltimore gaining more heat. It was funny. It was all right.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Then the next match, Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. Apparently, nobody enjoyed this match. What did you think?
I didn't hate it. I really, really didn't.
Me either.
I thought it should have been 5 minutes long. It was only 5 minutes and 10 seconds long. I thought it should have been 5 minutes longer. And I didn't exactly care for, but didn't hate the psychology of Bayley not willing to get extreme and not wanting to cross that line and become like Alexa Bliss or whatever they were trying to portray in that instance. I don't know what exactly they were trying to portray, but it seemed like that's what they were kind of going for. I didn't exactly hate it, but I just felt like these two gals are so much better than putting on just a match, because this was like, it's an Extreme Rules, it's kendo stick, it's awesome, and then the match was short, A, and B, it was, just kind of meh, which two gals were more than capable of putting on a really, really great match. I feel like that's even worse than putting on an absolute stinker, is putting on a match that's just okay, that's just eh. And also, like I said, it was short, so.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree with you. Basically, what they did was the end of a match, because I agree with you. I think if 5 minutes of just wrestling moves would have improved this match, wrestling in the ring, and then eventually doing what Alexa did and, like, go ahead and get it. Because it wasn't a wrestling match. It was a brawl to get the stick. And yeah, Bayley hesitated like once, and yes, that was their downfall. But Bayley did grab the stick. People haven't talked about this. Did grab the stick and chased Alexa around the ring. Alexa's small. She's fast. It makes sense for her to get away and get the advantage. And so people aren't talking about the fact that they ran around the ring at least once for Bayley to try to hit her. And so yes, Bayley hesitated once, but she really did want to hit Alexa, or at least that's how I felt. there were some good moves. There was a good belly to back suplex by Bailey. There was a really nice haymaker by Alexa. Um, but you're right. This buries the one thing that everybody's saying is has buried Bailey. It's buried her. I don't know how she's going to come back. They need to take her, and she needs to get upset. She needs to get frustrated. She needs to get extreme. Like this match needs to change her personality, big time. Not necessarily go heel, but just angry. And she needs to go and they need to bring in Blackman or Dreamer or Sandman to come in to actually teach her how to do these things. And I mean, Dreamer's been around a couple times for different things, and so that would be the obvious choice. And so she needs a character change, a slight character change, and then she needs to come back and just put everybody to bed. But they buried her,
Yeah,
so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I feel like I said, 5 minutes longer.
Yep.
And yeah, it feels like the whole match, was the end of the match, was like the second half of the match. So yeah, there should have been like 4 or 5 minutes before that of them, like you said, wrestling, like actually doing wrestling moves, doing suplexes and, chin locks and all kinds of different holds and moves and stuff like that. And there should have been some suspense, like a couple minutes of, Alexa going, climbing up in the corner, and then Bailey, like, throwing her off and then trying to get for it, and then Alexa coming, there should have been some suspense of, of that whole back and forth, like trying to get it thing. And so.
And the pole needed to be somewhere else. That was the wrong, in my opinion, aesthetically, it's the wrong side of the ring for it to be on.
Or maybe just do something different and have like the pole come down in the middle of the ring, like the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of a chain, have that be the pole, and then have a ladder, and one of them has to get the ladder.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. All we're saying is this match could have been better, and WWE screwed it up.
Yeah.
Bad booking is what it was. So Alexa Bliss keeps her championship, and we move right on to the Sheamus and Cesaro versus Hardy Boys cage match for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Caleb, what were your thoughts about this?
I will actually let you go first this time.
Oh, okay. This was dumb. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't hate it. It was a cage match. My biggest issue with cage matches,
where they said in this instance there was no pin or submission.
Yeah.
You could only escape. Yeah.
You can only escape. Yep. My issue with that is I hate the cage match now. Cage match back in the day, they had no door. They had to climb out. I hate the door. I hate the door in the side. They need to climb over. And I understand for safety reasons. I get it. But no. Let's stop the door thing. Let's have the two teams in there.
They could even say that. They could even have Cole like, there is a door, but you can't get out the door. That is only for the emergency personnel in case of an,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest issue with the cage match. With not their cage match, but the cage match. Overall, it was a good match. Solid. They both teams used the cage. There were more throwbacks. They did the Razor's Edge.
Yeah, the double Razor's Edge.
And Cesaro did the Razor, the arm thing. And I'm like, please let Razor Ramon come back. Because what happens on Raw?
Yeah.
Cass has a big gold chain that looks like something that Razor Ramon.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the one that Enzo wears.
No.
And Cass, I don't think wears chains, does he?
I think he used to, but I don't think he does anymore.
Okay.
Maybe in NXT days, I can't remember. But you're right, he doesn't use them. Please, WWE, bring Razor Ramon back. It would be awesome. Bring the Outsiders back. It would be so cool. I know they can't wrestle. I mean, Razor might be able to wrestle. I'm assuming Kevin probably can't anymore with his knees and such. But anyway, there were some callbacks to Razor Ramon, which were pretty awesome. Overall, it wasn't a bad match. The ending was a little sketchy. Just a tad sketchy. The camera work did really good job with it. But overall, it wasn't a bad match. What do you think?
I enjoyed it. It wasn't bad. Like there was some logic stuff that was kind of like like with the whole, the door, everything with the door, just get rid of the door. You're absolutely right. The door's stupid, but yeah, there was some great stuff in here, man. Like I love, that when I loved that Matt just kind of just owned, he Jeff got out of the cage, and then Matt, it's just like, oh no, Matt's outnumbered, and then he just owned him. He just does the side effect, and then it's like that was awesome, and then the biggest spot obviously was Jeff Hardy doing Whisper in the Wind off the top of the cage. That was amazing.
It was
like so many things could have gone wrong.
Yes.
But nothing did.
Everybody
seemingly.
Everybody everybody did their job and did it perfectly.
Like it was like, and it looked just so flawless and pretty. I was like, like if I was at the Olympics, I would have held up a 10.
Yep.
10. It always goes back to Ty Dillinger. Can't ever hear the number 10 now without ever thinking of 10.
Nope.
10. Oh yeah, but yeah, it was really good. But the logic thing, like of the door and Jeff escaping, but Matt still being in, and then Jeff coming back in was all kind of silly. But for the most part, I enjoyed it. They all did a great job, and the crowd seemed into it. The crowd seemed that they were really getting into it.
The one thing about the Jeff climbing out and then climbing back in, I can see them saying, well, since he climbed out and he climbed back in that way, then he's back in the match type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. It's still dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I still agree with you. It's kind of wonky. But what we have now is new tag team champions.
Mm-hmm.
And Cesaro and Sheamus and Cesaro.
Da-da-da-da-da.
So we'll see where that goes. There's theories and rumors that this might lead to a Jeff and Matt breakup. But I think that's conjecture, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, personally. But we'll see. Delete!
I'm saying delete in a very foreshadowingly sinister way.
Maybe. We'll see what happens. So we get new tag team champions. Next match, Austin Aries versus Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship. Caleb?
This was match of the night. Until the end.
Until the end, yep.
Yeah, this match was great. Yeah, I don't know why the crowd just seemed kind of... I don't know if they're just worn out from the cage match, or if they just were like, oh, it's the purple ropes, like you said.
It's the purple ropes.
But yeah, I don't know why they were so, both these guys are so amazing at what they do. They are holding the cruiserweights above water, these two guys, and they're both great. And this match, their match at Payback and then at WrestleMania before that were just all great, and this one's no exception. This one was really good. The fact that it's a submission match is a very interesting stipulation for high flyers. Yep. That's really cool because they have more athletic builds than like guys like Cena and Orton, who are like bodybuilder type guys, so they can contort and do crazier submissions and stuff like that. And the ending with Neville doing the Red Arrow on Aries' back and then just going straight into the Rings of Saturn from that was really, really cool.
Agreed.
This was a great match. I really, really liked it a lot. What about you?
Yeah, everything you said. I liked Neville getting out of the last chancery in the ring, and then him Austin putting it back on him outside the ring. Thought that was a really cool spot. It was a very hard hitting match in a lot of different places. A couple dragon screws that you don't see hardly ever with the legs.
Mm-hmm.
Aries did one that was really cool looking. There was a botch in there. Austin was supposed to catch Neville and mess it up, but then went right into the figure four. It wasn't horrible. But as far as everything else, I was sad that the crowd wasn't into it. There was a lot of great stuff. Oh, man, Austin Aries' sunset flip powerbomb into the last chancery. Like the powerbomb itself was hard, and then into the last chancery was really, really cool. It was a great match. It was really well done. Austin flying out of the ring and just landing hard on the floor, like that hurt me. The only thing I had issues with was what was the deal with Austin Aries' face at the end?
Yeah.
I know on Twitter he said, it's time to make some changes, time to change some things up. So we'll see what happens. But that smirk, that's almost like he wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We'll see if that plays into anything.
Maybe he was actually concussed.
And there's that.
And he was just kind of like, okay, what's going on?
Yep.
because he was like dropped on his head at one point, I think.
Yep.
So
And that's quite possible, because when he was trying, when they did the when sorry, when Neville was doing the red arrow, he gets up and starts going towards the. So I don't. It's quite possible he was concussed, but nobody said anything about it.
Yeah.
So we shall see. So at the end of the match, Neville continuing to be the king of the cruiserweights. We will see what happens from there. Anything else about that match?
Nope.
All right, main event time for the #1 contendership. We get Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns.
I want you to go first on this
This match was good. I loved the ending. I think that's my favorite part about this match. The ending having, because everybody thought. I mean, I think I had Finn. I don't know. I don't remember who you had.
I think I had Finn too.
I think we both had Finn to win.
Finn for the win.
Finn for the win, because it made sense in our minds, and to have Finn almost win, and then Samoa Joe come in and swoop it in, that was pretty. I love the fact that on both this pay-per-view and on Raw, nobody is tapping out to the Coquina Clutch. They're going to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a couple weeks ago, I was like, in my mind, and I don't think I told anybody, but I was like, I really wish that we would go back to a time where, when Roddy would put you in the sleeper or somebody put you in the sleeper, you wouldn't tap, you would just fall asleep. And I thought that. And so Coquina Clutch is here, and now we get that. We get that I'm going to go to sleep type thing. That happened to Paul Heyman this week, which was pretty brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as the match goes, I enjoyed it. It was really, really well done. There was even Bray Wyatt even did the Jake Roberts DDT onto to Seth onto the steel steps. He did the finger in the air. I was like, yeah, Jake Roberts. So many cool moments in this this pay-per-view that I really enjoyed. Throwbacks. The ending was great. There was a lot of good segments. I loved the beginning of Roman, kind of the whole King of the Hill aspect. Roman's in his yard, and nobody's attacking him. He's just sitting there like.
And then they all roll out of the ring and they're still fighting. Then he's just standing in the middle of the ring and he just has that smirk and then he just starts stretching and stuff. That was brilliant. I loved that.
I thought it was.
It's like Vince was just like, yeah, take it, yeah,
Yep.
Take that crowd, yeah.
And there was a moment where I thought Seth was injured again. He did a really good job playing up the knee when he frog splashed, and after that he gets on the floor, and I don't know if you noticed it, but I noticed he put his face into the table, and I don't know if he was like screaming obscenities or whatever because he actually was hurt, or it was just him playing it up.
Yeah.
I was just like, dang.
Okay, it looked like he actually did hit his knees pretty hard on the edge of the table when he landed, and you've seen people all the time when they do the frog splash, when they land, they immediately come up and they're holding their arms close because it just kills, Yep.
It's a hard move. It hurts. And so yeah, I liked when they went back to Seth, a beaten up Seth versus a beaten up Roman Reigns at the end. That was really well.
Yeah, Roman was bleeding.
His mouth.
I couldn't tell if it was coming from his nose or his mouth, but he was bleeding. Yeah, I was just like, dang, they're just like all mangled and stuff, and they're just staring each other down. I was just like I heard like the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly theme in my head. I was just like, when they're just sitting there staring each other down. That was awesome. Yeah.
And then one of my favorite things about the match is after Samoa Joe wins, he doesn't stay in the ring very long. He gets out and walks away. I think that's beautiful, and what happens in Raw is it just they're making this air around Samoa Joe that I really, really enjoy, and so that's my thoughts. What were your thoughts about the match?
It's going on. It's on my match of the year list thus far for this year. I really, really, really enjoyed it. For everything you just said, yeah, there's so many great stuff. I like that everybody got a time to shine, which was awesome. And
oh, bless you.
Whew. Ooh, feeling a little lightheaded after that one. But everybody got a good time to shine, got their moves and stuff like that. And I love that Roman and Seth, like you said, they got a time to have the ring to themselves and kind of stuff like that. And because you know they had that awesome match last week on Raw, which was awesome, and that's actually on my top 10 list so far. Also, I really really enjoyed that one. And they repeated a spot from that match on Raw in this one, which I loved because it was an awesome spot, and I'm glad they did it again. Where Seth did the buckle bomb, and then as Roman was falling off, you know, was ricocheting off of the turnbuckle, he used the momentum to jump up and do a Superman punch. And I love that, you know, once again, just like on Monday, you know, on Monday Night Raw last week, you know, he throws him into the turnbuckle, and then he comes off, and then he just uses the last little bit of strength he has, you know, jumps up, punches him, and then they both just hit the dirt. Like, you know, like, that's so cool. Yeah, it just looked really cool, you know. I mean, it was pretty awesome. And I liked Finn Balor directing traffic, him and Samoa Joe teaming up and hitting everybody and stuff. And, you know, when Joe had Finn I don't know if it was the Coquina Clutch or if it was just a standing headlock or something, and then Roman just comes out of nowhere and spears both of them into the corner. That was sweet. And then that was immediately followed up with the Frog Splash from Seth, which was awesome. Yeah, there were so many great things in this match. I absolutely loved it. And yeah, the beginning part, like you said, the whole King of the Hill vibe was awesome. And yeah, I mean, it's just like, I love that they're kind of painting Finn Balor as like Roman's kryptonite. Because you know, because he's, you know, Superman. He's the Superman punch, you know. So he's like, you know, like, even though he beat, you know, Finn a couple weeks ago on Raw in a match that was pretty good, you know, like, he just can't, you know, it seems like other than that one instance, he just can't catch a break against this guy. And, you know, he's like, yeah, he's smaller than me, and, you know, I can take, and then he just underestimates him, and then Finn just comes in, and, like, I loved that end where Finn just ran roughshod on him, and then it's like, yeah, he's gonna win, and then Samoa Joe just swoops in, you know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I just loved everything about it. Like, I in my mind, I can't remember anything or think of anything that went wrong with it. I just absolutely enjoyed it.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything. The funniest thing I did see, though, you know, Finn's a pretty short dude.
Yeah, he's like 5'11", 5'10".
Yeah. The referee was a lot shorter than him. I thought that was really fun when they're all standing there getting ready to wrestle or getting ready to go at it. The little ref dude was trying to back everybody up like, no, dude, there's no way you're going to be able to be in this ring. But overall, it was a really good match. And we have a #1 contender in Samoa Joe.
I could not have been more ecstatic. I was like, all right, Finn Balor, cool. Wait, Samoa Joe won? I could not be any more happy. Like, even though I wanted Finn to win because I thought that would have been cool. Like, when Samoa Joe won, I was like, I'm ecstatic about that too. Like, cool. You know, awesome. Yeah, it was Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar. That is a fantasy matchup I never thought that I'd see. I hope that it's a great match. If Brock squashes him, I'm probably gonna give up on anything Brock Lesnar related for a while, because
that's my fear.
It doesn't make sense. Like, it just doesn't. Like, even though I don't know, it can't be. It has to be just a knockdown drag out brawl between the two guys. Like, you know, like, yeah, it can't be a squash. It cannot.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
You never know.
You never know. Anyways, but yeah, it was an amazing match.
Awesome. Well, that was Extreme Rules. It was extreme, and they had rules.
Mm-hmm. Or as the What Culture guys kept saying, dodgy. It's dodgy rules.
Dodgy rules. Yeah, it really was dodgy rules this time. But with that aside, Caleb, what grade would you give it between a 1 and a 5 in the IPA scale?
Well, if you're talking about Stone Cold's Broken Skull IPA, honestly, I'd give it a 4. I just the Aries Neville match was great. The opening match was great, and then this main event just really capped it off. And I was just like, oh, okay. It's like when you see a movie that has a couple scenes you like, and you're like, all right, that's not bad. But the movie is just kind of okay, and then it just has a climax that's like out of this world, and you're like, whoa, that was like freaking sweet. Okay, this movie's awesome. Like, it kind of had that feeling on it. It's sort of like Phantom Menace. You know, that's a good way. You're just like, yeah, it's okay, I guess. Nothing special. There's a couple cool parts in it for sure, yeah. And then, you know, you see the final lightsaber duel at the end, which is like unlike anything you've ever seen before to that point. And you're just like, okay, that alone made this awesome. So, because of the main event and then the two other matches, especially the main event though. Yeah, I give it a 4 easily.
Right on. I hesitate to give it a 4. I'm gonna give it a 3.75.
That's fair.
It was really good. There were some things I didn't really care for,
Yeah.
but all in all, it was a really good pay-per-view.
All right. Well, we'll jump into the Monday Night Raws. So, Jeremy, we have Monday Night Raw,
We do.
the Fallout show from Extreme Rules. What did you think of Monday Night Raw? Everything that happened on it. What worked for you? What didn't work for you? All that malarkey.
All right. I think there were a couple things that really worked for me. Sorry, my notes are all jacked up now.
Sorry.
The things that work for me, I am totally into the Enzo and Cass thing. I hope they keep swerving us, and I hope neither of them do it. I don't know who did it anymore. I don't know if Cass planned that. I don't know if Enzo planned it last week. I don't know what happened, but I liked their segments this week. I really enjoyed the Miz's segment.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that he destroyed the clock, which was brilliant, and then made Maurice mad, which is interesting. I hope they do something with that. I loved that Dean was the cameraman. It was really funny.
Beats up the bear.
Beats up the bear, which Ross seemed to think that was Gargano.
Yeah.
It looked like Gargano, but it didn't look like Gargano at the
Yeah.
same time. So I don't know. Beats up the bear, like, oh, at least you could tell him he got beat up by the IC champion.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, he just throws him out.
And it was funny because I saw before I watched the Raw, I saw a tweet from Renee saying, "Oh, that camera guy was really cute." I was like, "Huh, that's funny." And then Dean ended up being the camera guy, which was really
that
fun.
was funny. That kind of reminded me of last year at Extreme Rules, leading up to Extreme Rules, how Jericho and Ambrose were having the Asylum match.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking in the ring, Y2J is, and he's like, bring the cage down, and then he's like talking to the hard camera, and he's like, Ambrose, if you can hear me, I just want you to know that you call yourself a lunatic, well, I'm a lunatic too, and then all of a sudden you see one of the crew guys locking up the cage, like, appear behind him, and he takes off the fake beard, and it's D.
Yeah.
That was great, and so this kind of had that same reveal too, where you're like, it's the cameraman, awesome.
So yeah, I really enjoyed that segment. I thought it was funny. My favorite thing of the night was Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe coming out and basically, he's like, I don't fear Brock Lesnar, and when Paul Heyman comes out, he does the same thing. He says the same thing. My favorite thing was when Joe was basically saying, I want his gilded schedule. I envy him. I want his ability to instill fear and all this stuff. And Paul Heyman comes out and just kind of talks him up a little bit, and then Paul Heyman doing the Paul Heyman thing, getting
that's what I do as a Jew.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, did he just say that? It was funny because he can say it because he's Jewish.
Yeah.
It was. He really wanted to see the Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar, which I think everybody did.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, to me, that's the best case scenario. Everything he said was really brilliant. The thing that happens at the end is more brilliant for me. Nobody usually touches Paul. Mm-hmm. They kind of just let him go, let him be his squirrely self.
Other than Goldberg spearing him, nobody does.
Yeah, and so I loved Samoa Joe getting into kind of the camera and just saying the things that he's saying. He's like, I want to tell you something face to face. Something very bad is going to happen. I'm going to wrap my arms around your throat. And he goes and says what he's doing with the coquina clutch. Brilliant. And then he does the coquina clutch. He's like, I want you to send a message to Brock. This is the message. And that was my favorite thing by far on Raw. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to talk about. Is there anything you want to talk about?
Yeah. First off, I want to concur with your absolutely yes. What Samoa Joe did made me very afraid of Samoa Joe.
Yep.
Like that was really creepy. Like that was, and I love how like he was just getting like he had his hand on his shoulder and he's getting really close and personal and he's talking about like, your vision is going to get blurry and you're going to black out and it's going to hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and I want you to explain in excruciating detail as I am now to Brock Lesnar what it feels like, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so ready. I'm so ready for everything that's gonna happen. And yeah, it was just I can't wait for next week to see what happens when Brock is in the house. So yeah, that got me super pumped, and I was just like, oof, like that was very haunting. Like that was so scary. Like it was so cool though. And yeah, Paul was excellent on the mic as per usual. Like he's never not bad. Yeah, it was great, and I'm absolutely yeah. I feel like I'm just gonna be concurring with everything that you said because I just don't know what else I can say about it because you're absolutely right about it. The end zone cast thing, I totally am invested. Also, I thought the thing with him and Big Show was cute. I liked that, where he's just like, you think Big Show's like gonna KO punch him or something,
Be
and
annoyed,
then he's just like, all right, yeah, hey, and he jumps into everything. That was great.
Yeah.
And I liked the whole, I called in a favor. My favor is 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. And then it was Big Show. That was great. And I loved how he's like, they're doing the bada boom shakalaka, and then he just picks him up off the thing. He's like, whoa, whoa, no, that's not how we do a show. No, no.
Yeah.
And then he just throws him down on there, and then he just like looks back up at him, and then like holds up Anderson's leg and like is looking up at him like, okay, I guess that worked. Like that was great, man. And then the backstage confrontation with Cass and them kind of piques my interest also. Like, is Big Show involved, or does he know something? Perhaps maybe he's not involved. Maybe he just knows something. Like, so yeah, all kinds of stuff. All kinds of awesome stuff happened that I liked. I love that Kurt Angle was just like, I'm not letting you do an Alexa Bliss "This Is My Life" segment because your segment last week was just absolutely terrible. It was one of the worst segments on Monday Night Raw ever. Like,
Yeah, that was awesome.
I'm glad that they did that. And then once again, he calls Corey away from the table to look at his phone. So be interested to find out what's going on with that, man. I just want to go ahead like 6 months into the future and like to see what's happening with that, just because I'm like so invested. I'm so interested in what's going on with that. I want to know what it is. I'm trying to think. I know there was something else. I know for a fact there was. Oh yeah, Alexa had a match with Nia Jax, and she kept going around backstage. Did you see all that?
I saw one of them with Mickey and Sasha.
I can't remember if she did another one or not, but yeah, she goes backstage and she's like, we have a Nia Jax problem, and Dana Brooke's like, no, sweetie, you have a Nia Jax problem, and then her and Mickey just walked away.
Yep.
And Mickey, you're so fine, you blew my mind. Hey, Mickey. No, but seriously. Anyways,
what were we talking about?
Yeah, what were we talking about? Yeah, it was funny, and then the match was good. I thought it was kind of cool to see, Alexa get some of her own medicine, cause she's like, hey, come on, we're friends. And then I just throws her and stuff, and then Mickey and Dana are out there basically to gloat and be like, oh hey, getting beat up, aren't you, huh? And then she sees that as an opportunity to get out of it. So that was great character stuff. That was good crowd heat to get for her. I thought that was pretty good. And then like they go into the ring with Nia Jax, and they're like all staring down, and then Nia just turns around and they just clobbers Dana and Mickey.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was really, really good.
So yeah, that whole thing, I thought they did well, and I know Nia's kind of voiced her disapproval of how some of the women's stuff is happening on Raw. And rightfully so. She's more than more than qualified and deserving to speak on that.
Yep. I think one of the cool things they did on this episode is they, how usually they do segments where it's just one thing and then they cut to another thing. The segment when Kurt was walking out and they were trying to get interviewed, that segment where it went from Kurt to Dean coming back in, to you see when Dean comes back in, you see the revival in the background, then to Eventually, Big Cass is knocked out. That whole thing was really fun to watch, and so
Yeah,
I
I did
really
like
enjoyed
that
that.
Dean kind of sneaking back in
Yep.
like Blues Brothers style or something. Like
Yeah.
I liked that. That was yeah, that was funny. 'Cause you see the door close, and then you just see his hands,
Yep.
and then he just pokes his head in. Like, yeah, that was funny. That was great. I liked that segment for sure. That was fun. That was good. But yeah, the banter earlier with Miz and Dean, or with Dean and Kurt backstage,
Yep.
where he's just like, okay, well, why don't you just tell me where his dressing room is, and I'll go wish him congratulations or something. He's just Dean, just go. Like, that whole thing was funny.
That was fun. Anything else that you like or didn't like?
Oh gosh, can't believe I forgot the opening with Bray and Roman.
Mm.
That was Roman, short, simple,
Mhm.
to the point. Didn't say much, and he just dropped the mic and clobbered him. That was good. And then they put on a really good match.
Mhm.
Guys know each other well, and like you and I keep saying, especially me, like these guys work really well together. And yeah, it worked out really well. It was really good. I very much enjoyed that opening bit and stuff, and talking about how he's the cure for the sickness, or whatever of the beast, and the this opportunity was my weapon, and then Kurt Angle took that weapon away from me, and all that kind of stuff that sounds good, but then is actually just kind of gibberishy. So,
Yep.
but I mean, it's presentation and confidence is what matters. So, but yeah, that whole opening thing was good, and then the main event was Seth I
Rollins
think,
and Samoa Joe.
and Samoa 1-on-1. So, what happened?
That's the thing, is I don't feel like this was a good main event.
Okay.
There was some
I was
good,
only kind of half paying attention during this last part, honestly.
and honestly, you didn't miss much. It did show Samoa Joe's striking ability, and so that was good because he's gonna face some MMA fighter,
Hmm.
and they need to build that.
Yeah,
They
and
need to
he
build
has
this MMA stuff.
and he has like a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he's really trained in Muay Thai. So Samoa Joe could definitely probably in a for real fight hold his own.
Sure. The big thing that was interesting was we might be seeing a Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt feud, because Bray's wasn't his theme. It was just whatever, I don't know what you can call it. The cutscene with him laughing and came on, and Seth was looking around and whatnot, and then Samoa Joe came in and got him in the coquina clutch, and that was it. So that was pretty much it. That was the end of the match.
Okay, yeah, that's why I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it was kind of
as you kept saying all that, I was like, oh yeah, I remember all that now. It was just so that I didn't care.
And I felt like that for SmackDown too. Is the main event just kind of, and it wasn't main event on SmackDown had storyline purpose, whereas this one sort of did, but it just kind of was meh. So anyway, any other thoughts about Raw?
I don't think so.
Right.
Off the top of my head, no, I don't think so. So
okay. Well, out of 5 Stone Cold IPAs, what would you give
it? I think I'd give it a 3. There was enough good stuff that held my interest and entertained me.
Yep, I give it a 3 too. I am enthralled by the couple storyline things, and so that's what kept it up to that.
Well, all right, as our good friend Matthew McConaughey would say. Not our friend, we don't know him, but seems like a nice guy. I would like to meet him someday. Anyways, doesn't matter. I'm talking about wrestling, not the McConaissance.
That's right.
Well, that was Monday Night Raw, everybody. Now we have SmackDown. So we have Monday Night. Oh, now we have the SmackDown.
Yep, SmackDown. Caleb, what were your thoughts? What were the good things, the bad things, the stuff in between?
There really wasn't much bad. Yeah, okay, I'll go into the good stuff. I liked everything that happened with AJ and Dolph. They put on another good match. Enjoyed that. So kind of interesting to see where that goes. The opening was the women for the the Money in the Bank match. They unveiled the women's briefcase. Looks good. I'm glad it wasn't pink.
Yep.
And sparkly and stuff like that. She's like, oh, it's just this very nice, like
White.
pearl white,
Pearl.
Pearl. And this very nice pearl white color, and then it has like the traditional gold trim and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, so it's different enough that it's not like this is the girl line. It's not like bedazzled and pink and stuff like that. Like that ugly Divas belt. It's like the women's championships. It's white because it has the so. And then everything that went on, all the women's smack talking and stuff like that, and then was great, and I loved it. She's like, the princess of Staten Island is gonna win. She's like, hold your tongue, princess. Like, that was great. Charlotte did a great job, and she's like, the queen has the floor. Like, yeah, that was just great. And I loved Ellsworth interrupting Shane O'Mac. That was funny.
The mansplain everything.
Yeah, the mansplain everything. That was funny, and I love that Natty was just like oh, shut up. Charlotte, you're just ripping off your dad, and then Natalya was like, or not Natalya, Becky says to Natalya like, well, you're just ripping off your Uncle Brett. That was good, and then I don't know where Lana finally shows up, and so tries to talk her way into the Money in the Bank ladder match, and so that was funny. And then he's like, sorry, but you have to earn your opportunities. And I love how she just huffs and puffs and goes away. That was funny. And, her and Naomi, kind of have a back and forth. And then, she's like really mad about that. So she wants to face Lana at Money in the Bank. And,
for the title.
Yeah, for the title. So that has me wondering if they're going to pull it off Naomi already.
It makes me wonder if it's going to go on later after the women's Money in the Bank match. Mm-hmm. The winner of the women's Money in the Bank match will cash it in that night. That's my thought. That Lana would win it, and then at the end immediately taken off of Lana, because it would protect Naomi a tad. Depending on,
especially if she wins via shenanigans or something.
Yeah, if Lana wins, like you said, if Lana wins via shenanigans on Naomi, it would make more sense that they take it off of Lana right away. It's just weird. I don't know.
It is, yeah. It's got me very intrigued.
Yeah.
It's very weird, but it's got me intrigued, and so, and then you had Jinder going out doing getting some more heat on him and stuff like that. And then you had Randy Orton backstage with
It was Renee.
Renee. I'm blanking on everybody's names
I blanked on
today.
her name earlier.
Dude, every time I'm just like, oh, and then so and so was backstage with, their name just immediately leaves my head.
Reporter number 175.
I don't know why. Oh yeah, and I don't care what anybody says. Dasha and Charlie are the same person.
They are.
It's like Michelle Williams and Carrie Mulligan, or Illa Fisher and Amy Adams.
Yep, they're the same person.
They're all the same person. Because they like first of all, they're both very beautiful, but they just look so much alike. Like I'm just like, they're the same person. Just like how I can't prove that the Olsen twins isn't one Olsen twin with super speed moving so fast that we see two of them. I don't know that.
In that they created,
but it could be.
They created what was it called on Flash when Flash creates
a time remnant.
A time remnant in their sister Elizabeth, or is it Elizabeth?
Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah. Their sister Elizabeth is a time.
This is a time remnant. Oh, that'd be sweet. Oh, that would be funny. Anyways, that was a fun little conversation.
It was.
And then you got Randy Orton, who's turning more and more into Clint Eastwood by the weeks. I liked that. I dig it. It's very, very short and curt and very Western-like. Like, this town ain't big enough for the two of us type of talk.
And it's kind of interesting. Now that you say that, because of his old Legend Killer persona, he's turning into Legend Randy Orton. He's no longer killing legends. He is the Legend, because he's like, I called up, or Ric Flair contacted me, and all these other legends
Harley
contacted
Race
me.
and my dad even.
Yeah. And I was like, that's an interesting turn, that now he's becoming that legend, that Clint Eastwood-like legend. That's interesting.
That's a cool thought, yeah. And announced John Cena will be back on July 4th. Seems rather fitting. He's the, you know, good-looking Superman. Red, white, and blue.
It's in his blood.
So I was like, that makes sense. So can't wait to see what is in store for Big Match John when he gets back.
Yep.
I'm sure they got something planned. Hopefully it'll be something good.
Yep.
I was gonna say something else, but I just blanked. I'll go ahead and let you take over because I just lost my train of thought yet again.
The only thing I really, 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 really enjoyed was the Fashion Files. The dumb on arrival. They continue with the noir thing, the noir feel. Like oh man, just every word of it was brilliant. It sounds like that WWE is happy with the segment, and it sounds like it's not going anywhere soon, because it's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Like whoever's writing it, I don't know if Breezango are writing it or if somebody else is, but it's just brilliant. Like when Fandango comes in and it's like, I returned from the lab, but I just realized there's no boys and there's no lab. That was really funny. He's like, I tasted the bottle for Prince.
Yeah.
Like, all of this stuff was really funny. And when the New Day comes in,
that was
like,
good.
Black and white. Hey, we're black and we're white. We're black and we're white. We're black and we're white. Like that whole thing was really, really funny. And just all of it, like New Day, new case. Like, new case rocks. New case rocks. And they give him the rompers for men, the rompums, I guess it was called.
Yeah, I don't know
what they're called.
He's like, dude, look, they got like all these kinds of pockets and stuff, and he's like, all right, that's pretty cool. Like,
we don't take bribes, right, Breeze?
And he's wearing it.
And like, can you guys get us some intel on the Usos? They give him all these boxes. Like,
Day one.
They're one day. Their
day one is
day
H.
one is so H. And then Big E says ish, and they're like Gesundheit.
And he's like, thank you. H. Gesundheit. Thank you. Like,
listen, Big E, if that is your real initial. Like, all of it is brilliant. That's the best thing on SmackDown. And to be honest with you, I don't want to talk about anything on SmackDown. I didn't care for the first segment. I liked the setup. I didn't care for it. I thought it was really, really clumsy. The matches should have been better, but they were short and concise and whatnot. And so, like, even though the Dolph AJ should have been a better match than what it was, these two should be doing their stuff in pay-per-views because they could have so much better matches. The Kevin Owens Shinsuke match should have been a main event match on a pay-per-view. Should have been. But it was a kind of a throwaway match because they were doing more Sami Zayn, Corbin, and even Corbin.
All that stuff, everything with Sami and Corbin, I really, really liked.
I agree that too. I didn't hate that at all. Corbin is getting better at his talking. He was really, really pretty good on commentary.
He was like really snarky. He wasn't like cold and stoic. He was like really snarky and stuff.
Because in the past he was cold and just not very good.
Yeah.
This week he was really, really well
done. I liked when instead of getting mad, he like laughed everything off and like played along, like when Tom was like, well, Sammy was supposed to join us here, but you kind of take care of that. And he just goes, yep, sure did, Tom. Like that stuff. I was like, that totally works. Like,
And even the backstage encounter with Baron, like, can I have that? Well, he starts beating Sami Zayn, and there's so many ladders backstage, and Coro's like, wait, this is no ladder match. And I was like, I love you, kid.
That's so funny.
She's such a great person to watch wrestling with. I really enjoy that time.
I'm gonna have to watch
wrestling with her. Yeah,
wrestling with you two guys sometime.
The next big main event, I'll bring her over. She can stay up very, very late.
That'd be awesome.
There were after the Fashion Files, and even the New Day match was a New Day match, but it psyched up the crowd again, and it psyched me up again because I just felt like it just went downhill, and I just didn't really care about the rest of it. And New Day came out, I was like, hey, they get to wrestle, and obviously Kofi might still be a tad unable to wrestle, but that's fine. They're back on camera, and it does bring a new air to SmackDown, which is really, really welcomed. But I just felt like the matches were just kind of throwaways this week, and that was really sad for me to see. But you're right. Like, I didn't hate anything. I was frustrated with the beginning stuff. There were some funny statements that I
There
really
were.
enjoyed.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was too botchy. I felt like the match was too botchy.
Yeah, I didn't care for the match.
Yeah.
The match I didn't really care for. But.
So like there was, like I said, there were some okay parts. I didn't care for the Jinder Mahal stuff either. Mojo Rawley, just bury him. He didn't look very good in that match, in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't like the Jinder Mahal thing either, but it got him some heat. That's all I cared about, and
it did do that.
And it led to the Orton thing, which so they're kind of building him up to be even more angry.
Yeah.
with all the stuff, and yeah, the Mojo Rawley thing was weird. Like, it's like the dude is hyped. Like, he's a hype bro. Like, he should always be hyped. He shouldn't be talking, like philosophically about Andre the Giant and all this stuff. Like, he should be like, yeah, bro. Like, I did this and I did that and woo. Like, he shouldn't be backstage like Andre the Giant, man. Everything he stood for. He should be like Andre the Giant. That guy knew how to roll, man. And stuff. He should always be hyped.
Because it was black and white.
He doesn't get hyped. He stays hyped. So he should always be hyped.
You're absolutely right. Because the backstage stuff compared to what happened when he came out to the ring were polar opposites.
Yeah.
Like, he was just, oh, but you've forgotten me. To be honest, I actually like that Mojo better than the hype Mojo, but he came out as hype Mojo.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right. He needs to be hyped all the time. I do. The Usos are actually growing on me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like. It's them, Naomi, and a couple other people who have the same things they say every week that I don't care for. But as far as what they did when they came out and interrupted, I'm trying to see if I can find it. The stuff that was really, really good. I don't know what it is. But anyway, they're growing on me. Yeah, we tell jokes and laughter like you guys and laugh like you guys. That stuff was really funny. Look, oh yeah, when he's telling Xavier, look up, and down, and ask yourself, what are those?
Yeah,
that was really funny.
The Aladdin shoes.
So they're growing on me. The whole penitentiary thing is just weird still.
Yeah.
But as far as
if they're wearing like striped shirts, like like old school prison uniforms, it would bring it home a little more.
Yeah.
So.
But as far as it goes, SmackDown for me wasn't as good as it could be.
I thought Raw was better this week.
When do you think? Is it 2 weeks?
I think maybe
2 weeks. I think.
Mm-hmm.
So the good thing is that this wasn't a go home show.
Yeah.
So this is a throwaway show essentially.
Yeah.
We do get another match out of it, so we do see. We know the Money in the Bank match. We know the female Money in the Bank match. We know the Naomi versus Lana, but that's pretty much it, right?
Jinder and Randy.
Randall Orton, as some people want to say.
Randall Keith Orton.
That's right.
I always like to say his full name.
It's like Seth freaking Rollins. That's his middle name.
Yeah.
That whole thing was fun.
That was hilarious.
There's nothing else I want to say about it.
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that worked about it. There's a lot of stuff that didn't work on SmackDown. The stuff that did work was all right, but yeah, you're right. It was very clunky in a lot of spots and such. But yeah, I thought Raw was better this week. It's one of those few instances.
Agreed.
When Raw is better than SmackDown, like that doesn't happen very often.
And where is American Alpha?
Yes. Exactly.
How many days of it has it been since we've not seen American Alpha on?
I don't know. I brought that up like 2 weeks ago, I think, on the fact. I was like, "Where's American Alpha at?" Like, seriously.
They were there at the show. They did the dark match was them and two other guys versus the Ascension and a couple other.
I'm wondering if they want to like take the belts off Usos, put them on New Day, and then have New Day and American Alpha feud or something.
Could be.
I don't know.
It could be, but we haven't seen them.
I know.
We'll see.
I mean, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So maybe when American Alpha comes back, people will just go nuts for him. You know.
But
who knows?
Day 155. I don't know. I'm making up numbers.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing them. So out of 5 IPA, Caleb, what would you give it?
2.5, I guess.
I'm gonna give it a solid 2. Solid 2. They're Fashion Files. You get a 5.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
I think that's part of why it gets the half for me
is because of the
Fashion Files.
I'll give it a 2.5. Wrestling was meh.
And Clint Eastwood Orton.
Clint Eastwood Orton, yeah.
So, all right, well, You heard it here first. Well, you probably didn't, but. Well, folks, thanks for stopping by for WWPWW. Talked about Extreme Rules, or Dodgy Rules, as our friend across the pond said. Our friends don't even know us. And,
even though I wonder, there's a couple things that King Ross said this week that I was just like, you're watching us, aren't you?
What did he say?
I don't remember what it was, but it was something I was like, we said that.
Very interesting. Very, very
Trolls.
interesting. Very interesting.
King Ross, if you're trolling us, give us a wink.
Yes, please give us a wink, sir. This is Jeremy right here to my right.
That he's poking.
Yes, actually, it's to my left.
Oh yeah, it's to your left. I was just going with it. To my right. Maybe I was.
Yeah. At Spiritual Gangster, and I am Caleb316 at the One True Caleb. So King Ross, come to the Twitter, give us a wink.
That's right.
All right, well, everybody, thanks for stopping by. This is episode 40 something. And we will see you all in 2 weeks. We will be taking a break next week.
Ooh, I made it. We'll have to look at our calendar.
We'll have to look at our calendars.
We're not sure.
We won't be here next week for sure. We know that.
Sorry. Because I'm going on vacation. He's got camp stuff going on, so we'll see what happens.
So, yeah, we will see you sometime after our break. So, well, this is Caleb.
This is Jeremy.
Signing off.
Peace.
Goose.